As they say in PIHL hockey, let's do that PIHL hockey. Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm Matt Popchock, back here trackside at the Ice Castle in Castle Shannon, Pennsylvania, where revenge is a dish best served cold, and we've got a grudge match game in Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League Class AAA on PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10-Band TV, presented by WG Tomco Incorporated and Donaldson Supply Company. Simulcasting on Peters Hockey TV as the Peters Township Indians take on the Baldwin Highlanders for the first time since those two teams met in the 2022 Penguins Cup quarterfinals. And it was the Highlanders who swept the regular season series from the eventual Class AAA Pennsylvania Cup champions, but the Indians on March 8th at the Prinscape Arena enjoyed the last laugh in the form of a 6-2 playoff victory that sent them on their way to that title run. And for these teams, their first meeting since then, and not a whole heck of a lot has changed. Peters Township coming in with an overall record of 7-1, owners of a 6-game winning streak that is the longest active run in Class AAA. Baldwin coming in with a record of 4 wins, 3 regulation losses, and 1 overtime loss, good for 9 points, and the number 6 spot in Class AAA. So both teams very much right in the thick of that playoff picture. And fun fact, if the season ended today, Baldwin and Peters Township would play each other again. And for the Indians, the key has been team defense. They are number 1 in Class AAA in that category, only 14 goals allowed coming in tonight, and they have allowed only 1 goal in each of their last 5 victories, including their Miners Cup triumph last Tuesday, a 7-1 victory over Cannon McMillan, keyed by a pair of goals from sophomore sensation Will Tomko. And it's great to see him back and healthy in the Peters Township lineup again. Tomko with 10 points over his last 5 games. He is 4th now in Class AAA with 9 goals scored, which leads the Indians in that category. Ben Kovac, the Batman to his Robin, or Robin to his Batman, whichever way you prefer. Kovac with a 3-point night of his own in that Miners Cup game with a goal and 2 helpers. Kovac with 11 points over his last 4 games. And number 18 in red, the junior, leads Peters Township with 12 assists and 20 points. Kovac, 2nd in Class AAA, by the way, in each of those aforementioned categories. And really, it's been those two that have been keying the offensive success in the first half of the regular season for Rick Tingle's Peters Township Indians. For Justin Glock's Baldwin Highlanders, they're looking to get back on track after settling for a split of their 4-game road trip, coming off a 3-0 loss to Mount Lebanon at the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena last Monday. But Alex Golvash has been playing very well in goal for Baldwin, and goaltending was a key in all 3 games that these teams played last year, including that playoff confrontation. Golvash, a very tall task, replacing Eddie Nowicki, a former state champion who graduated from last year's team. And Golvash, to this point, doing so very capably with a .902 save percentage. Golvash 5th in Class AAA, by the way, in that category. And offensively, Levi McRae has been the hot hand for Baldwin as of late. 3 goals, 2 assists over his last 4 games played. McRae, a senior, with 6 goals to lead the Highlanders as he dons number 27 in white and purple tonight. And McRae, the senior, with 9 points, ranking 2nd on the team to Captain Tanner Plinta's 10 points. And Plinta did not play in that game against Mount Lebanon, had 8 points over his last 4 games prior. And so Baldwin very eager to get its captain back in the varsity lineup tonight, as we are moments away from puck drop here in the nightcap of our PIHL Hockey Night Live doubleheader, Week 11 of the 2022-2023 season, getting underway here on a cold Monday night in Greater Pittsburgh. Glad you could be with us and hope you're keeping warm wherever you're watching. And you can watch just about anywhere these days. You can go to 10band.tv, you can go to Roku, or you can go to Amazon Fire, get on the old Fire Stick and download the 10band TV app and watch us there. Or you could just head over into the fine establishment, kitty corner to us in Mr. Murovich's Ice Castle, and you can watch us on one of those big screen TVs, I am told. And special thanks to the Ice Castle for their cooperation in coordinating that tonight. And got to give an extra shout out to Todd Kazarowski, our producer, for doing the work of yeoman on that one. Two very stubborn teams defensively. We told you about Peters Township. Baldwin actually has only allowed 27 goals all season. That's good for 4th overall among the 11 teams in Class AAA, so they're not doing too shabby in front of their goaltender either. And goaltending, as I said, going to be key for both teams. And let's see who gets the nod for Rick Tingle tonight. Nolan Hilbert took the L the last time these teams played in the regular season, but he's also 4-0 with a 175 goals against average to start this season, and he got the playoff victory the last time these teams faced each other. And it is going to be Hilbert getting the nod for Peters Township tonight. He will oppose Golvash as Coach Tingle gives the Indians some last moment instructions. Justin Glock and the Baldwin Highlanders getting set to look for some revenge here on home ice, and for that matter, win on home ice for the first time this season. 5 of the next 6 games, including this one for Baldwin, will be played here in the friendly confines of the Ice Castle. So they've sort of had a slanted schedule in terms of road contests to begin their regular season. They're eager to be back in front of their own fans here. Off to our right, and their own drum line. Hey, we remember them. Off to the extreme right. And it is Will Tomko against Tanner Plinta. And Tomko and the Indians control the puck and skate from left to right on your TV, computer, or mobile device to begin this Class AAA contest. And a centering pass out in front by everybody. Golvash was out of position, but no harm done. Richie Woods, right point for Peters Township. To the corner it goes. Now back up top to Woods, wearing number 51 in red for the Indians. Down low to Tomko. Tomko ducking around the referee. Behind the net it comes to Cole Newpaver, the freshman, who's had a fine start to his first varsity campaign, sending this shot high off the glass and all the way into Peters Township territory it comes. No icing as Kobe Ringwald reverses the play near side for Newpaver. Up ahead to Tomko. Tomko with good speed. Top of the right circle, off the blocker of Golvash, who makes his first official save of the night. Joey Wateska gains the red line and dumps it in as the Indians change on the fly. Dean Reed, the senior defenseman, outletting this puck. But the Indians are going to take it over deep in their own end as Troy Jones retreats. And now it's played up ahead, but given away and right into the glove. Oh, Hilbert flashing a leather right out of the tunnel. And that's actually Kyle Thomas, not Nolan Hilbert, who makes a save to keep it 0-0 for Peters Township. It looked initially like Hilbert was going to get the start, but a last-minute change by the Indians in net. And Hilbert was certainly warming up as though he was getting the nod, of that much I'm certain. Now Buys over the line for Baldwin. He snaps one high and wide. That puck had some serious velocity on it as it comes to the near corner. From the half boards. Sent up now to Jones. Jones double teamed at the Baldwin blue line. Charlie Caputo going in as he trails the play. Caputo shrugging off the hit from Reed. Good keep. Oh, not quite a keep as West Forester was offside, and the Indians have to tag up. They're changing lines anyway here early in the scoreless first period. And Ryder Mertens, the Peters Township captain, backhands this puck in between the Baldwin circles. Highlanders coming over the Peters Township line as Thomas sticks this one aside. Kyle Thomas with 17 saves against Baldwin when he met them in this building back on November 4th of 2021, a 4-2 Baldwin victory. Thomas with a 1-1 mark on the regular season and 252 goals against average as Austin Malley, the alternate captain, plays this puck behind the Baldwin goal. Sent back to center. Forrester has it, gains the red line, sends it in. Golvash leaves his net to play it. Up to the point it comes, backhanded in by Forrester. Mertens pays a physical price to play that puck as he is sandwiched into the glass by Logan Kramer, the sophomore, and one other Baldwin Highlander. Shot from a bad angle, never made it through. Caven Fisher from behind the net. Now backhand try off the stomach of Golvash, and the rebound is cleared by Baldwin, and this will be long enough for icing. Wholesale substitutions made by Rick Tingle here before the offensive zone draw. 3 Penguins Cup championships, 3 Pennsylvania Cup championships under the belt of Tingle in his 18th season with the program. Assisted again by Cliff Bumford and Chris Claxon, who are back for another season. Robin Thomas, the general manager this season. Reed unable to keep this puck alive at the Peters blue line. Retreating is Will Dempsey. Dempsey basically gave it away to Porter Erb as Peters from its defensive zone plays it up to center. Waiting for it is Logan Pack. And that's 93, I'm sorry, Will Dempsey, the senior, not number 9, Pack. As this wrister is put off the blocker hand of Thomas, and it goes over top the net. Good effort there by Plintus. Plintus puts a shoulder into Richie Woods, and Woods gives him a little smack of the stick in retaliation as Anthony Labalarte, the varsity newcomer, plays this puck deep into Baldwin territory. Behind the net it comes now. Kovac to the point for Woods. Oh, what a blocker save made there by Golvash as he reached all the way over and just got a piece of it at the last second. Tomko for Kovac. The dynamic duo on now for Peters Township, but Kovac lost that puck. And on the mishandle, it's going to be scooped up by Cole Reed, the freshman, and Baldwin will ice it. 5 minutes gone by in the scoreless first period, and some pretty solid end-to-end action here between these Class AAA heavyweights. The reigning AAA state champs against the 2021 Class AA state champs. Baldwin moving up in classification last season and making the Penguins Cup playoffs as this puck is deflected wide by Newpaver. To the point it comes. Now for Tomko. Tomko scores! Will Tomko nuzzles that nylon for the 10th time in 2022-2023. 1-0 Indians, 11:47 to play, first period. And the talented sophomore continues to make it look easy. Drew Alexander to take the faceoff as he's tied up by Kramer. Logan Kramer, that is, the sophomore, but the Indians control it anyway. Baldwin playing it defensively. Up and out of play in front of its own bench. Faceoff coming up in Highlanders ice. And Will Tomko now with 11 points in his last 6 games and counting. One of the most consistent point producers in the entire classification. And he has Peters Township on the board to begin this game. Pregnant pause before the puck drop. Highlanders control it, and they will not ice it as Wateska has to play it, and he overskated it. Behind the net it comes for Gabe Hurley. Hurley couldn't find a man out in front, though, and Peters skates it back to center. Here the other way comes Troy Jones. Jones snapper into the stomach of Golvash, and he hangs on. So Baldwin trying to weather an early storm here on home ice.
And number 76, Austin Vogel. Technical 1147. That's 28 from 1876. An even strength goal on 1147.
Kovac picks up another point. That's 12 for him in his last 5. And meanwhile, the clock was running continuously after the stoppage in play, and some fans were calling for officials to correct the scores table, but I don't even think they caught it. That was a strange gaffe there. But for now, the clock will remain 10:25 and counting in the first period, 1-0 Peters Township. Troy Jones from a bad angle. And somebody lost his stick on that sequence as Tanner Plinta rubs a man into the glass. Alexander retreating. Alexander trying to sneak it for Fisher. Gets it to Jones. Jones down low. Centering pass to Jones. Jones shoots. Scores! Crisscross applesauce. Troy Jones. A pretty little passing play there in deep makes it 2-0 Peters Township. 10:05 to play first period. Jones, the sophomore, with his 4th of the season. Referee Naylor going to do the honors here, as the Indians have doubled their early advantage. Nick Buys gets it in deep. Up to center it comes now for Tomko. Tomko watches it go behind the Baldwin goal. And a giveaway there to Will Tomko. Up to Kovac it comes. Kovac to the goal. Good stick check there at the last moment by Matthew O'Malley. And Golvash makes a glove save from distance and hangs on. And if you're Baldwin, you just want to mitigate the damage as best you can here and not let this thing get any more out of hand than it has been to this point. A couple of early goals by the Indians by Tomko and Jones. And Peters Township storming out in front to an early lead here with 9:36 to play in the first. Up to Kovac it comes. Offside are the Indians. Alexander on to take the draw against Plinta. Plinta pushes it in behind the Peters blue line where it's played by Woods to Ringwald, his defensive partner. Ringwald up ahead for Jones, the most recent Indians goal scorer. Gave it away to Plinta. Plinta charging hard and puts it over top the head of Kyle Thomas as he takes a hit from Woods. And here the other way comes Alexander, and we get a whistle behind the play called by referee Crawford, the trailing official, as Plinta and Woods exchange holiday greetings here. And they're both going to go off with 9 minutes to go in the period. Well, maybe they won't both go off. They're going to say that Woods retaliated and Baldwin's going to get the first power play of the game. And what a good time for it. The Highlanders need something to tilt the ice the other direction here, down 2-0 in the first. Baldwin coming in with a pretty strong power play as well, 18.2%. ranking 4th out of the 11 teams in Class AAA, but here come the Indians shorthanded. Here's Mertens on the off wing. Mertens forces a kick save from Golvash. Mertens trying to play this puck on his backhand. He can't. The Indians flying in this first period. Mertens on his forehand now. He's just taking time off the penalty clock. For Austin Malley. Malley ridden into the glass, but he stays with that puck. And finally, Levi McRae is able to pick it up for Baldwin and outlet it to Plinta. Plinta's pass a little too heavy for Cole Reed. In pursuit for the Indians is Austin Corbel, the junior defenseman. Couldn't get it out. Plinta up high for McRae. McRae for Tanner Plinta. Plinta, wrist shot rather, blockered away, and it's loose in behind the goal, played with a glove by Peters Township. Nothing called. 1:05 to go in the penalty to Woods. 8 to go in the period. Indians looking to protect a 2-goal advantage here with Baldwin on the power play. And that'll help as Ringwald picks up the puck and clears from 200 feet. Both teams making changes here as Baldwin carries it up to center. McRae rubbed off the puck carefully by the Indians' defense. And Peters Township again will clear the zone with half a minute to go in the man advantage for Baldwin. Dean Reed, stick check there by Newpaver. Newpaver trying to center it for Martin, and that took a funny bounce through the goal crease as Martin fires this puck wide of everything and everybody. Baldwin coming back 3-on-2 if it hurries, but it doesn't. Buys ties up his man. Highlanders have it. Turning around, trying to play this puck for Baldwin is O'Malley, the sophomore. As the penalty is expired, Woods immediately repairs to the Indians bench as we're back to 5 aside with under 7 to play in the period. Both these teams combined have allowed just 4 power play goals all season. That's some darn impressive penalty killing. Peters Township coming in at 95%. That is the best in Class AAA thus far. Six and a half to go in the period as the Highlanders counterattack. Here's Nick Buys over the line. Buys goes right side to Reed. Dean Reed unable to handle the pass, but now he has it for Baldwin. He shoots just wide of the net. Reed had the look, couldn't hit the target. Labalarte gets it deep for the Indians. Jeremy Poon going after it for Peters Township. Turnaround try by Porter Erb. Now Erb from the right hash, and Golvash was ready. Ringwald gains the red line and dumps it in. Sticked aside by Golvash. Indians changing on the go. Near side it comes to Will Dempsey. Dempsey's lead pass off the skate of Logan Kramer. Indians play it near side. Intercepted by Baldwin. Mac Dempsey in pursuit of this puck as Ringwald reverses the play. A clever little maneuver there by the senior defenseman. And it comes up now to Tomko. Tomko over the blue line. Tomko on one hand pulls back, tries to center it for Kovac. Kovac was too well covered. Kovac from the corner now. Around the boards it comes. Ringwald pinching, couldn't keep the puck inside the zone. Tomko retreating inside his own blue line to play it now with 5 minutes left in the first period. Kovac from the corner. Kovac in front. Backhander. Golvash holds it. And there is no rebound. And Tomko will stay on to take the ensuing faceoff against Tanner Plinta. Plinta wins it. And the Baldwin captain goes backwards to Will Dempsey. Up to Joey Stanek, who had the game-winning goal in the last meeting between these teams at Ice Castle. Up to Tomko it comes now for Peters Township. Tomko with speed and purpose out in front. Kovac couldn't take the pass. Ringwald from the center point, down low for Kovac. Kovac for Cole Newpaver. Up for Woods. Woods snapshot blocked. Good work there by Stanek. Now Newpaver for Ringwald. Ringwald shoots off the glove of Golvash. and off the glass behind him. Good cycle here by the Indians. Baldwin still unable to clear it. Now Plinta has it on his backhand, and he has his pocket picked by Kovac. Kovac sends him for a ride. Plinta from his own end now. Taking matters into his own hands. Has Cole Reed up ahead of the play. Plinta's going to try and do it all himself, and a poke check there by Woods sends the Indians the other way. Woods with it now for Peters Township. Onside, sends it around the boards for Tomko. Tomko right there waiting for it. Cross ice. Jones didn't see that puck coming. That lead pass stabbed at by Wateska. Chance the other way, and the Highlanders score! It is 2-1 Peters Township as Levi McRae makes that donut disappear. His team leading 7th of the season. McRae wiring that puck from distance. And his hot streak continues. 6 points now for the senior in his last 5 games. And so after a suboptimal start to this game, the Highlanders suddenly are right back in it with 3:10 to play in the first. And for Cole Reed, the freshman, his 3rd assist playing on the varsity squad this year. Indians trying to get it back here late in the first period. Charlie Caputo, shot pass down low, intended for Jones, but too well covered. Corbel up ahead for Jones. Jones over the line, tries to create space. Good stick check there by Nick Buys. Baldwin making a change as the Indians play this puck into Highlander ice. Fisher with it. Gets it deep into Baldwin territory. Caputo in after it. Alexander from the boards for Fisher. Fisher through a crowd. Oh, deflected puck. Rebound, and it's stopped somehow, some way by Alex Golvash, the senior. Again, I get some love from the drum line. They like that save to keep it a 1-goal game. And here come the Highlanders off a face-off win. Trevor Breen was going in after that puck, but the Indians have it. Mertens over the blue line. Mertens, wrister, save made off the blocker of Golvash. Back to center it comes. Breen drops it for Ben Kramer. Indians take it over one more time. Up ahead, a little too strong for Camden Martin, but Ryder Mertens has it. Mertens looking for Malley. Baldwin steals and sends it the length, and this will be icing. Mertens against Plinta to the left of Alex Golvash, the Baldwin netminder. Indians win the faceoff. They get it to center point. Ringwald toward the goal, never made it through. It's blocked in front. A good job there by O'Malley. But the Highlanders will, they are able to clear it back to center. Good follow-up work there by Stanek. Indians quickly in transition, trying to counter, but they're offside. Indians push it into Baldwin territory in the final minute of first period play. Cole Reed after this puck as it dribbles in on Thomas, who takes a bit of snow spray there and covers. .3 to go in the period now. Defensive zone face-off for the Indians. Tomko to take it. Plinto won it for Baldwin. They get it back to the right point. Reed gets it in behind the goal. Around the boards it trickles. Indians come back 2-on-1. Here's Tomko. Has Kovac open. He goes that way. Back to Tomko. Tomko in front. Score! Isn't that a fine how do you do? Oh, what a teamwork play by Ben Kovac and Will Tomko. And Tomko finishes for the second time in the period, and the Indians restore their 2-goal advantage. Boy, when those two are on the ice, it's get your popcorn ready. Indians win the ensuing faceoff, and Jeremy Poon gets it deep for Peters Township. Out in front, centering pass too far for Labalarte. Highlanders counterattacking. Can they answer late in the first period? Long range shot there by O'Malley is going to be swallowed by Thomas. That was Nick Buys, I beg your pardon, taking that rip. Clean face-off win by the Highlanders. Final 15 seconds of play. It's deflected out in front. Thomas had trouble locating it, but eventually does, and covers in front of the blue paint. 11 seconds left now. Three seconds to go. And that's the end of period one. Couple of goals by Will Tomko, who continues to do what he does, and a goal by Troy Jones. Levi McCray continuing his recent form for Baldwin, and after one, it's Indians 3, Highlanders 1. I'm Matt Popchock, and you're watching PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10-Band TV and Peters Hockey TV, presented by WG Tomko Incorporated and the Donaldson Supply Company. First period shots on goal, 13-7 in favor of the Peters Township Indians, who lead the Baldwin Highlanders 3-1. As we get set for the second period of play here at the Ice Castle in Castle Shannon, Pennsylvania. Indians looking to win their 7th game in a row. In their last 6, they have allowed only 7 goals. As Tomko is looking for the hat trick, and Kovac's follow-up goes wide. Indians picking up right where they left off here in the middle frame. Plinta from his own end. Gets it to the Peters Township blue line where Forrester goes cross ice to Fisher. Up for Newpaver. Tomko was too well shielded. Indians have to tag up now as Baldwin plays it from its own corner. Dempsey, the senior, goes cross ice. And up, and it comes a little too far for Joey Stanek. Blocked aside by Thomas to the corner. Plinta from the near corner, off the stick of Thomas. Indians should be able to get this out to center easily, and they do. Peters Township 2-on-2, draw pass. Snapshot, save made from long range on Newpaver by Golvash. Plinta ridden off the puck by Tomko, and Plinta gives a little shove to the back of Tomko's helmet as Kovac has this puck at center to Tomko in flight. Up for Newpaver. Newpaver for Tomko. That went off Tomko's skate as he was dumped out of the play by Brady Zofshin, the senior. Newpaver from the half wall, behind the net for Tomko. Tomko out in front. Oh, the one-timer to Kovac misfired. Indians not taking their foot off the gas here, leading 3-1 early in the second as Golvash has to make a glove save and frees it for a face-off. Well, I was about to say as that first period wound down, as rocky as that period was for the Highlanders, they got that McRae goal. They got right back in the game. It was a one-goal game, and then Tomko and Kovac doing what they do, making magic when those two are out on the ice together. And those late period goals can just, they can be deflating when you give them up. So the Highlanders need a big response, and preferably an early response here with 15-10 to go to the ice cut. This puck goes through a couple of bodies and off a couple of sticks before the Indians play it back to center. Caputo rubbed off the play. Highlanders outlet it for McRae, the lone goal getter for Baldwin. Great keep there by Ringwald as he barely kept his footing and got it in behind the net. It's loose and played off the glass and now out of play, says referee Naylor. Logan Kramer tying up his man in the face-off circle, but the Indians keep it at center point. Ringwald's shot blocked. Good gap control there by the Highlanders as Kramer tries to go forward. Ringwald right there on the back check. Boy, does he play a 200-foot game. And the alternate captain has it for the Indians now. Brings it out in front of his own net and flips it up as far as the glove hand of Logan Kramer. Richie Woods from the far corner for Charlie Caputo. Caputo off the boards. Too far for Malley. Zofshin's going to get there first for Baldwin defensively, and he plays it out of Malley's reach. Baldwin back to center. That outlet pass intercepted by Ringwald. Mertens from his own blue line off of Baldwin's stick. Malley was looking for it. Mertens has it for Peters Township. Mertens aggressively playing this puck. Woods gloves it down. Woods on the backhand to the goal. Save made. Golvash rebound. Poked in on net. And somehow Golvash keeps it out of there despite the hacking and whacking of Austin Malley. Boy, how did that stay out? And this puck rolls deliberately across the Indians' goal line. No icing, they say. Mertens met by a couple of white jerseys, and Baldwin forces a turnover. Cole Reed poking at this puck as Joey Wateska, the junior, plays it defensively for Peters. Up into the Baldwin zone it comes. And Wateska has it again now for the Indians. Trying to find Malley. He can't. Plinta has it for Baldwin. Off the official's crease. Cole Reed trying to play it through a man's legs there. He couldn't. Now Matt O'Malley has it. Oh, a good poke check there by Woods as Woods and Stanek now get involved at the blue line. Baldwin has to tag up now as the Indians play it outside their area. Austin Malley left side. Malley 1-on-3. Malley drops it back for Labalarte. Oh, errant pass there. Indians have to be careful with this puck. And now they have to tag up and complete their line change as Cole Reed is up ahead of the play for Baldwin. O'Malley retreating. Wateska from his own corner. Up for Jeremy Poon. Now Porter Erb playing it. In behind the Baldwin goal line. O'Malley on his backhand. Comes all the way into Peters Township territory, and this will be icing on the Highlanders with 11:36 to go in the second. And Peters Township in front 3-1. Indians control the offensive zone faceoff. Forrester put that off the leg of Nick Buys. Labalarte plays it right circle for Fisher. Labalarte behind the net now for Poon out in front. Oh, the backdoor play. Misfired there by Porter Erb. Golvash settles that puck down right in front of himself. And it comes all the way up into the Peters Township end. McCray tried to whip that one on goal, but he couldn't. Fisher got in the way, I believe. Lead pass now to Tomko. Tomko over the blue line. Tomko on the off wing. He scores! And you can break out the chapeaus, baby. Will Tomko from the left side makes it 4-1 Peters Township. Number 10, number 11, and now number 12 on the season for the Peters Township sophomore. And that Class AAA goal scoring chart might look a little different at this time next week. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Forrester gains the red line and dumps it in. Tomko plays it out in front. Backhander wide of the net. Wraparound try, it's loose and played defensively by Baldwin. Peters Township just playing this game at a different energy level, it seems, as they send this puck to the opposite end of the Baldwin zone. Highlanders finally get control, and they send it up ahead to Trevor Brain. Brain too well protected there by Fisher, though. And Kevin Fisher of Peters Township gets it up ahead to Tomko, who stays on here after his third goal. Caputo puts it wide from the top of the left circle. Stanek with it now for Baldwin. Stanek trying to follow the bouncing puck as he pushes it beyond Ringwald, but Ringwald has it. Ringwald and Forrester go D-to-D. A misplay there by Forrester. Forrester takes a hook from Stanek as play continues. No harm done there as Ringwald is able to Murphy dump it back to center. Caputo plays it on the bounce. Drew Alexander going after it. Alexander couldn't quite catch up to it. And here come the Highlanders. Stanek back with Plinta 2-on-2. Stanek from distance knocked aside by Thomas. Outlet pass now to Troy Jones, who has the other Peters Township goal tonight. Up ahead for Alexander. Alexander at the side of the net. Oh, good job by Dean Reed there to give up the body to take away the cross-ice pass. Ringwald feint on that attempted shot. Now to Alexander it comes. For Caputo, down low for Jones. Jones scores! Thank you, sir. May I have another? And it is 5-1 Indians as we approach the midpoint of this period and game. Troy Jones, his 5th of the year, 2nd of the night. And off the faceoff, the Highlanders have it at their own blue line and send it into Indians territory. Corbel defensively playing it for Peters Township up to the Indians blue line. Alexander kicking it into the offensive zone. Baldwin plays it back to center. And this bouncing puck is going to be settled down by Wateska. Wateska losing an edge in front of the Baldwin bench. Caputo, meanwhile, gets it down below the goal line for Jones. Jones, Caputo off the side of the net. Sneaky little drop pass there by Troy Jones, the sophomore. Caputo with it now. Tries to wrap it around and get a bounce off a Baldwin stick. Now, Alexander and Caputo each picking up helpers on that second goal of the game by Troy Jones, and a giveaway here to Alexander as he gets bumped from behind by Nate Buys. Buys on his off wing gets this puck into Peters Township territory as it bounces in front of Thomas. It's played by Levi McRae, who has the lone Baldwin goal. McRae from the corner. McRae shouldered into the boards by Corbel. Nick Buys with it, dropping it for O'Malley. O'Malley through a crowd. Thomas sees it, save made, rebound denied again by Thomas as it's sent up into the netting, and they'll face it off to Thomas's left with 7:12 to go to the ice cut. Now Will Tomko has a hat trick. Troy Jones with a pair, and one wonders how much more ice time Rick Tingle will let his star Tomko see if this game continues to be in the state that it's in right now, with Peters Township very much in command. Austin Malley 1-on-2. He gets hit hard into the glass. Bouncing puck here to Kramer. And Logan Kramer snaps it in on Thomas, who makes a save from over 30 feet. Fisher now retreating, goes D-to-D with Forrester. Up for Malley. Malley for his captain, Ryder Mertens. Mertens sandwiched into the boards by Plinta and Dempsey. Mertens, fortunately, appears to be all right. That was a hard hit there on the Indian senior. Loose puck in front, turned over. Indians can't get a clean shot off. That was Labalarte digging in for it. Malley shoved from behind. Malley continuing to fight for this puck. The Indians really playing with a purpose, seemingly from the opening whistle. Just a different energy about Peters Township in this game compared to games past. Mertens knocked to his stomach. Snapshot by Labalarte, denied by Golvash. Forrester enters the attacking zone. Leaves it for Labalarte. Labalarte had his stick lifted neatly by Plinta. Stanek up ahead. And it's a little too strong for Cole Reed and knocked aside to the corner by Kyle Thomas. Now played by Fisher, who reverses the play. Fisher from the corner gave it up. Highlanders trying to get something going here as time winds down in this second period. Indians come back with a possible 3-on-2. Jeremy Poon in after this dump in by Porter Erb. Erb settles it down for Poon. Poon behind the net. Tried to play a bounce out in front. That was a no-go. And Ringwald gloves it down. Ringwald through traffic. That one off of Porter Erb's stick and went wide. Back to the right point it comes. Shot deflected wide of goal. Dean Reed up ahead off the skate of his own man, Joey Stanek. And Poon is going to send that into the Baldwin zone as the Indians want to complete a line change here. Delayed offside here against Peters Township, and they're just now realizing it as Ringwald retreats to play this puck and does so for Richie Woods. Woods up to center, gains the red line, dumps it in, and he smashes Stanek into the Peters Township bench. And some retaliation here by Cole Reed as the whistle blows with 4 to go to the ice cut. And a 4-goal lead for the Peters Township Indians. Baldwin wins the face-off in its own end, sends it around the boards. Up to center for Nate Buys. Ben Kovac retreating to play the puck for Joey Wateska, the defenseman. And a good hit there by Nick Buys to send it free from McRae. Out in front for Nate Buys, and that shot attempt misfired. Peters Township coming the other way. Kovac up ahead, and a shot put just wide by Cole Newpaver. Chance the other way for Baldwin. Here's Nick Buys. Buys top of the right circle. Off the blocker of Thomas, and the rebound avoids the stick of Nate Buys. Kovac on his off wing. Down low for Tomko. Tomko toward the goal. That was blocked before it made it all the way through. Wateska with a good keep at the point. For Newpaver. Newpaver for Kovac. Kovac. From the blue line. To the corner it comes. Bouncing puck played by the Highlanders, but not out. Wateska cross ice for Kovac. Kovac with it again, right circle. Looking for Tomko on the shot pass, couldn't connect. Indians with a great shift here in the offensive zone late in the period. Corbel keeps it alive. Corbel down low below the goal line. Dempsey unable to clear. Kovac gets hit up high, and finally Baldwin will ice this puck with 2:23 to go. Peters Township just not letting Baldwin breathe as time ticks away in this second period. And another icing call on the Highlanders with 2:14 to play in the second. And again, they'll drop it to Golvash's right. And flip back through center. In hot pursuit is Trevor Brain. Trevor Brain has it. Unable to get a shot off. He's pulled down from behind. Penalty coming up on Peters Township. And the Highlanders will get a power play with just over 2 minutes to go in period 2. And Baldwin has both power plays in this game. They are 0 for 1 thus far, as Wes Forrester will feel shame for 2 minutes and then get free, hooking the indication against the senior. Highlanders looking for a lifeline here late in the second as they operate on the power play, but the Indians clear it. Ringwald getting that puck deep. This outlet pass too strong, and Ringwald again will just send it right back in. Bouncing puck there, and a funny bounce at that, off the back of the Baldwin net. And it's played by Cole Reed up to Tanner Plinta. Plinta pulls up at the left point for Cole Reed. Reed off-balance shot, saved by Thomas. Reed has the rebound though, but he gave it up to one of the Indians, and it's sent the other way, and that is Camden Martin who got in the way of that one. 1:10 to go in the penalty to Forrester. Ringwald with it for the Indians, taking more time off that penalty clock. And he floats it deep into Baldwin territory. Camden Martin goes after it shorthanded. Martin out in front to nobody in particular. McRae will just take it for Baldwin, and Martin kind of frustrated with himself there. He thought Malley was going to be ready to accept that centering pass, and I don't think Malley saw that coming. But a steal here by Malley. Malley, just couldn't gather that puck in as he reached back for it. Now he has it shorthanded, but a good poke check there by Plinta. Outlet to Stanek. Stanek fakes a slap shot, drops for Plinta. Now to Stanek. Stanek behind the net, wraparound try, denied, and cleared by Peters. Drew Alexander doing the honors as Golvash tries to hurry the play along. Final 15 of the period, and a chance for Malley shorthanded. Malley with a shorthanded breakaway, makes his move, side of the net, what a save by Golvash on Drew Alexander as the penalty and period both expire. Golvash certainly not quitting on this game. Beautiful save, shorthanded, as we cut the ice here at the Ice Castle. But it has been the Will Tomko Show, and to a lesser extent, the Troy Jones program. After 2, it is Peters Township Indians 5, Baldwin Highlanders 1. I'm Matt Popchock, and you're watching it on PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Ben TV and Peters Hockey TV, presented by WG Tomko Incorporated and the Donaldson Supply Company.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole, and more. Got everything I need, and it's right.
Look at him, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, climbing his way through the corporate rat race. We've all been there, focused on that next raise, promotion, chocolate bar. Keeping an eye on your health can be exhausting. Weight Loss Direct is a personalized wellness and weight loss program. We utilize an AI algorithm to determine your specific foods and match you with a real-life coach and an easy-to-follow meal plan so you could stay on track to success and health. Check out weightlossdirect.com to learn more.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole and more. Got everything I need and it's right.
Two jumbo iced caramel drizzle peppermint mochaccino. Extra caramel.
That's us.
I'd love to join you guys at the beach house for a few days, but between my job and the kids, it's just not that easy. Not to mention, how am I squeezing into a bikini after this winter?
Keeping off extra pounds while balancing a family and a career can be tough. And 500-calorie coffees won't get you there either. Weight Loss Direct provides a 24/7 support and one-on-one coaching to keep you on track and guarantee you success and health. Start your journey at weightlossdirect.com.
When these teams last met in the Penguins Cup quarterfinals, the underclass duo of Ben Kovac and Will Tomko combined for 5 points in that playoff win over the Baldwin Highlanders by the Peters Township Indians. Tonight, they have combined for 6, as Kovac has assisted on all 3 of Tomko's goals, and the Peters Township Indians here at the Ice Castle in Castle Shannon lead the Baldwin Highlanders by a 5-1 score as we get set for period 3 here. And one more period to go in our PIHL Hockey Night Live doubleheader here on 10-Band TV, presented by WG Tomco Incorporated and the Donaldson Supply Company. And special thanks to local band Nomad for all the music you've been hearing during the period breaks and our commercial breaks. What does Nomad stand for, you ask? It's north of Mason-Dixon. And the Peters Township Indians are certainly heading north in the Class AAA standings and heading toward a 7th win in a row behind the strength of their top guns. Shots in the first period, 13-7 in favor of the Indians. Shots on goal in the second period, 8-5 in favor of the Indians. Game totals, 21 for Peters, 12 for Baldwin. Couple of key penalty kills by Peters Township, which took a 1-0 lead on Tomco's 10th of the year, set up by Kovac and Austin Corbel, 5:13 into the game. A minute 42 later, Troy Jones from Caven Fisher and Charlie Caputo to make it 2-0. Baldwin got on the board from Levi McRae, set up by Cole Reed, with 3:24 to go in the first period. And the Highlanders looked like they might be able to weather the storm and get back into the game, but Tomco, on that nifty goal set up by Kovac, just a backbreaker at the end of that first period with 34 seconds to play. It was 3-1 after one. Tomco completing the hat trick, 6:13 into the second period, set up by Newpaver and Kovac. Troy Jones scoring 2:06 later, set up by Drew Alexander and Charlie Caputo. And that is where we stand right now. Assistant coaches Paul Zumba and Rob Fermeri going over some last-minute instructions with their team as the Highlanders have a mountain to climb here in the third period, looking to win on home ice for the first time this varsity season. They've played a good portion of their schedule away from the Ice Castle. 5 of their next 6, however, will be at home, including this one. Peters Township, though, the state champions, looking very much the part as the third period is underway. Ringwald outlets it for Tomco. Tomco on the freshly cut ice. Centers for Newpaver. Newpaver couldn't handle the bouncing puck as Zofshin plays it in his own corner defensively, overskated by Plinta. That leaves the door open for Kovac to go right point to Woods. Woods deflected in on Golvash, who made an unconscious save there at the near post. Newpaver, the freshman, is harassed by the stick of Stanek. Newpaver from the edge of the circle floats it over top the net. That took a weird deflection. Peters Township just couldn't get the puck luck on that one. Kovac, far corner, centers for Tomco, who lets it go to Woods. Woods from the right hash. That's blocked. Good play there by Cole Reed to get in the way of the shot. Ringwald unable to take that drop pass, and he has to play this puck all the way back in his own corner. Ringwald slamming on the brakes as he directs traffic from behind the net. Outlet pass intercepted by McRae, who forces the Indians to retreat. Kovac through center. O'Malley off the official's crease. Sent the other way by Woods. Woods stood up there by Nick Buys, who gets it deep into the Peters Township zone. Ringwald, near corner, shoulders a man into the boards. That was McRae who got the worst of that one. Camden Martin with speed, trying to get around Nick Buys. He can't. Will Dempsey with a nice defensive play there on O'Malley, shielding him from centering that puck, and a penalty coming up on Baldwin as one of the Indians had his stick knocked out of his hands. And Kyle Thomas going to come off, and Tingle's going to try to get on the extra attacker here. The extra attacker is Tomco, by the way, as the Highlanders touch up. And the Indians get their first power play of the night, and the #1 power play in Class AAA gets their chance to make a mark on this game. Indians coming in at 45.5% on the PP, just staggering through their first 8 games of the regular season. Will Dempsey, the senior, the guilty party, as the defenseman sits for Baldwin.
Baldwin, penalty number 93, 2 minute minus for roughing. Penalty 14:53 repair.
Tomko to Mertens, right circle. Mertens, cross ice for Tomko. For Ringwald. Ringwald for Mertens. Mertens out in front. Rister denied. Golvash stuck right with him. Tomko through a crowd. That went wide. Malley back for Tomko at the left point. To the corner it comes for Camden Martin. Martin for Tomko. Tomko for Mertens. Mertens pulls back. Mertens taking a slash there as play continues. Mertens behind the net for Martin. Martin for Tomko. The Indians just kind of toying with the Highlanders at the moment. Kick save there, though, by Golvash on the distance shot by Tomko, and the Highlanders are able to clear back to center. 1:03 to go, and the penalty on Dempsey. Tomko from his knees trying to play that puck. What an effort by the sophomore, but not to be. Ringwald for Mertens, the Peters captain. Mertens snaps it off Golvash. Rebound. Dean Reed couldn't find it. Mertens has it. Mertens for Ringwald. Ringwald, slapper. Redirected wide. Malley tried to get a piece of that one. And the Highlanders try to spring Stanek shorthanded instead. Reed will just put it off the glove hand of Kyle Thomas. 28 to go in the minor penalty. Peters Township with a commanding 5-1 lead, trying to add to it on their first power play of the night. Ringwald for Malley, dispossessed by Nick Buys, and Buys sends it the length. And that should just about do it for the Indians' power play. Long lead pass for Alexander. Alexander unable to handle it. Zofshin will kill off the remainder of the penalty. Dempsey goes right to the bench, and Nate Buys comes on defensively for Baldwin. Indians still on the attack. Here's Martin backhanding it wide. Near side it comes to Ringwald. Ringwald to the corner. McRae cuts it off. Alexander centers. Snapshot. Jones looking for the Hattie. That wouldn't go. Glove down by Tomko. Tomko for Jones. Jones over the blue line. Jones makes his move. Jones from the left circle. Off the glove of Golvash. The rebound is behind the net. Jones finds it. Now finds Caputo. Caputo for Alexander. And the Indians have to tag up now. This puck Murphy dumped back to center and kicked at by Logan Kramer, and actually it's going to go for icing on Baldwin. 5 gone by in the third period, still a 5-1 game in favor of Peters Township. And the Highlanders get a clean face-off win there, send it around the boards. Kevin Fisher has to retreat to play it. Matt O'Malley from his own corner outlets it a little too strong for Kramer. Kramer goes in after it aggressively, though, and he takes down Forrester in the process. Play continues. Puck through the blue paint. Went underneath the Baldwin stick there. That was Trevor Brain, unable to do anything about that one. Indians up through center. Here's Alexander to no one in particular. Fisher going D-to-D with Forrester. Forrester gains the red line, sends it up ahead for Jones. Jones is hit from behind by Matthews. Tanner Matthews, the senior. Baldwin making a line change as Fisher brings it over the line for Peters Township. Jones, off-balance shot into the stomach of Alex Golvash, who covers. Rick Tingle changing it up before the offensive zone face-off. Peters Township, during its winning streak, averaging 6.2 goals per game, and all but equaling that here tonight. It's been a fairly dominant effort here on the road by the Indians. As this puck is snapped by O'Malley into the glove of Thomas, and one of the Peters Township back checkers is knocked to the ice. That's Porter Erb, but cooler heads prevailing for the moment as we get a face-off to Thomas's right. Plinta tying up his man in the circle, and he has it now for Baldwin. Gave it away, though, to Wateska, or Austin Corbel, I'm sorry. And Jeremy Poon's going to get this puck deep for the Indians. Dempsey around the boards. Labalarte to the corner. Erb unable to center it. Bouncing around behind the Baldwin goal line. Dempsey tries to pin it up against the boards. Jeremy Poon knocks it loose. Cole Reed taking a hit there from Poon from behind. O'Malley with his back to the play goes D to D for Dempsey. Lead pass to Cole Reed, and a pretty one, but Reed shouldered off the puck neatly by Tomko. Labalarte at center red. Double teamed by O'Malley and Plinta. And Kovac forces a giveaway. And Kovac has his stick knocked out of his hand, nothing called. As Wateska has it at the left point. Wateska puts it off the glass. It somehow stays in play for Kovac. Kovac behind the goal line for Tomko. Tomko up top for Corbel. Fortuitous bounce for the Indians there as this shot was knocked aside by Golvash, I think, through a crowd. And I believe the Baldwin senior did get a piece of that shot. Kovac on the backhand. Another save by Golvash, and the rebound is still loose. Baldwin has it. Zofshin unable to clear. Centered for Kovac. Kovac trying to do it all himself. Tomko with support. But Baldwin has it behind its own goal line, and Plinta puts it off the boards. And the Highlanders still can't clear it. Tomko with a keep. Centers it, but Stanek cuts off Kovac. And this will not be icing as we approach the midpoint of the third period. Peters Township 5, Baldwin 1. Oh, and nearly disastrous giveaway there by Baldwin from behind their own net, but they come back through center. Dean Reed dropping it off for Nick Buys, and the Highlanders score! Buys fired it on goal. It hit something on its way in behind Thomas, but the Highlanders cut the deficit to 3. The brothers Buys in the celly line at the Baldwin bench as they strike up the drum line, and they'll stay on here for the ensuing faceoff. And that is the first time since the beginning of the Peters Township winning streak that the Indians have allowed more than one goal in a game. And that should tell you a lot of what you need to know about the way Peters Township's been playing lately. Baldwin trying to chip away, though, with still time to play. 8 minutes to go in this third period. And Nate Buys with it for the Highlanders. And here the other way comes Alexander. Alexander has Kovac down the middle. He puts it on goal, and Golvash makes a save. Golvash on the follow-up freezes at the far post. And Golvash gets a nice little thanks for saving my bacon from Brady Zofshin, the senior. The Indians almost got that goal right back. Malley out-muscling his man off the face-off. That was Dempsey. And it's gotten up ahead to Camden Martin. Martin 1-on-4. Martin to the goal, dribbling puck. Mertens has it now for Peters Township. Out in front. Oh, a toe save made there. Golvash watches his defense try to clear it, and they do up through center. Fisher retreating for the Indians. Forrester outlets it for Malley. For Mertens now. Back for Malley. For Martin. Camden Martin from the circle. From a bad angle, fires it off his own man. That was Mertens who caught the friendly fire. Puck deflects off a stick, stays in play for Fisher. Can't keep it in the zone, though. Baldwin digging for it. And a souvenir puck on the visitors' side now with 6:52 to go. So Nate Buys, the freshman, is credited with that last Baldwin goal, his third of the season. And you love seeing those ninth graders get into the act on the varsity squad. And Tomko was such a player last year for Peters Township. You always wonder which one of those youngsters are going to make a name for themselves playing with the big boys. Cole Reed, another freshman for Justin Glock's Highlander team, coming the other way for Baldwin. This lead pass catches up to Alexander. Alexander up ahead for Jones. Jones couldn't hang on to it. Alexander shoulders a man as Baldwin sends this puck back the other way. Cole Reed over the Indians' blue line. Cross ice for Stanek. Stanek off balance on Thomas, who makes a kick save there. Dean Reed has the rebound for Baldwin, and he's hit hard by Caputo. Now another hit from behind on one of the Highlanders. That was Cole Reed getting the worst of that one. Plinta peels back. Off-balance shot. Never made it through. To the point it comes now for Zofshin. Zofshin, that shot never made it through. It was deflected wide. Good cycle here by the Highlanders, and a one-timer whiffed on by Cole Reed. 5.5 to go in regulation. Baldwin trying to slice into this 5-2 deficit. They have the only goal of the period thus far as Troy Jones comes the other way for the Indians. His shot goes off the leg of Zofshin. Caputo from the half wall. Down low for Alexander. Alexander, right point for Richie Woods. Woods deflected on goal. Kick save, rebound, bouncing puck. Caputo couldn't tee it up. And Caputo's blind pass is intercepted by Dean Reed and sent the length for icing. Final 4:50 of play here at the Ice Castle. Peters Township trying to salt away a 7th straight win in PIHL Class AAA competition. And recently the Indians, as this puck is out of play into the Baldwin bench, recently they played in that National Invitational Showcase Tournament in Jamestown, New York. That's usually played around the holidays. So they've seen some of the best in the entire country, let alone Western Pennsylvania. And they're certainly a battle-tested bunch here as the month of December winds down. And another puck into the Baldwin bench, so we'll drop it again to the right of Alex Golvash. Porter Erb to take the face-off against Levi McRae, and McRae wins it. Indians in neutral ice playing this puck. Ringwald from in front of his own bench goes to Woods. Woods off the skate of his own man, Jeremy Poon. O'Malley in front of the Baldwin bench tries to hook up with a man up ahead of the play. That was Nate Buys, who had the last goal for the Highlanders. Buys has to play this puck in his own end now. Given away to Woods. Woods through a crowd. That hit McRae on the way in. And McRae stabs at this puck for Nick Buys and now has it over the blue line for Baldwin. Draw pass to Nick Buys for McRae. McRae's shot deflected off the glass. Porter Herb stuck right with him. Ringwald reverses the play defensively. Ringwald contacted from behind as play continues. And Ringwald getting up a bit slowly now as the Indians are trying to complete a line change. Kovac swiping at this puck. Woods off a Baldwin glove, and now Woods shoves one of the Highlanders from behind. Kovac leaves it for Fisher. Fisher for Ben Kovac. Kovac on his backhand cross ice. One-timer by Woods deflected up into the netting and out of play. So barring unforeseen developments here, the third place Indians will improve to 8-1 overall after tonight. And the sixth place Highlanders will slip to 4-4-1 overall in Class AAA as Golvash makes a save at the side of the net. Fisher deflected through a crowd and unable to find the yawning net was Will Tomko. Tomko had his back completely to the play, and I got to tell you, if he puts that one in, I think both sections are cheering right now. That would have been something from Will Tomko. Holy cow. Dean Reed with it at the blue line. Reed puts it off the crossbar. That close to making it a 2-goal game as Kovac counterattacks. Kovac off the right leg of Golvash. Fisher keeps it at the left point. Dean Reed didn't know where it was there as one of the Indians gets shoulder checked. That was Newpaver. Zoption playing it to his left. Newpaver picks it off the half wall. Newpaver trying to do it all himself. He'll leave it for Fisher. Fisher from the bottom of the left circle. Cross ice for Forrester. Forrester getting it deep. The Indians just trying to be smart with the puck here and take time off the clock, as time is a luxury that the Highlanders don't have here at home. 5-2 game, 1:43 to play, third period. And the Indians come back 3-on-1. Tomko for Newpaver. Newpaver on net. Save made. Golvash rebound. Snapshot. Kovac stopped again by Golvash. You hate to belabor the point, but you can't help but wonder what this game could be if not for the play of Alex Golvash. The senior continuing to do all he can in net to keep the Highlanders in it, but time just running out on Baldwin here tonight. Off the boards, it comes up to Camden Martin. Martin kicks it to himself and breaks free of Plinta, centering for Malley. Malley's shot deflected by Dempsey. Good stick work there by the Baldwin defender to send it up into the protective netting. Final 75 seconds of play here at the Ice Castle tonight. Martin off the faceoff, right into the glove of Golvash, and he'll keep it there. Mertens ties up his man off the faceoff, and that allows Malley to take the puck, but he gave it right away to Dempsey. Corbel from center red. Indians have to tag up. They will. Lead pass to Nate Buys. Buys over the blue line. Buys top of the right circle. His shot blocked. To the net it comes. Dribbling puck in on Thomas. Mertens has it. Mertens with a nifty little maneuver there. Mertens coming in over the blue line. Mertens on the doorstep. Save Golvash as he denies Austin Malley. Oh, what can't Golvash do at this point? Final 40 seconds of play. Face-off coming up to the seniors' right. To the point it comes for Ringwald, and Baldwin might have a chance for a late marker here if it can settle down this puck and put it on goal. They do, but Thomas makes a blocker save at his left. Stanek out in front, bouncing puck, still loose, and put on the goal line. Is it in? Yes, it is. The Highlanders have scored with 20 ticks to talk. Referee Naylor right on top of the play, and he decided that that puck completely crossed the line. And I believe they're going to give the goal to Tanner Plinta, the captain. And if so, that will be the junior's 4th goal of the season. And so the Highlanders at least making things look a little bit more respectable in the game's final moments as the Indians win the faceoff. Stanek gets the goal, actually. That'll be his 4th. 5 seconds to play, and Stanek will just send it into Peters Township territory. And so Will Tomko and Ben Kovac are once again the difference makers offensively for the Peters Township Indians. One gets a hat trick the traditional way, the other gets an assist hat trick. And the Indians prevail on the road here over the Baldwin Highlanders in PIHL Class AAA action. Peters Township winning its 7th game in a row by a final score of 5-3. Oh, much deserved handshakes for Alex Golvash, a game effort from the Baldwin senior goaltender. But that early onslaught by the Indians, who dominated puck possession for much of this game, just a little too much for Baldwin to handle. Special thanks to one of Peters Township's own, Todd Kazarowski, our producer. Special thanks camera operator Michael Lyman. And special thanks to the Peters Township Hockey Club for their cooperation and for hooking us up with a simulcast on Peters Hockey TV. And special thanks to you for watching and listening. Final score again from the Ice Castle, Peters Township 5, Baldwin 3. I'm Matt Popchock, and I will be back with you this approaching Thursday at the Alpha Ice Complex in Harmarville for PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Band TV. We will get things started with Wilmington at Deer Lakes as the Lancers look to keep pace with Bishop Canavan in the Division II PIHL standings. That game facing off at 7 p.m. Then the nightcap at 9. These Peters Township Indians try to make it 8 straight when they visit the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings. That will face off at 9 p.m. That's Thursday, but for now, we bid you adieu from Castle Shannon, PA. Indians 5, Highlanders 3. I'm Matt Popchock. Thank you and good night.